I'm with Van Clothier, the guy behind me from Screen Dynamics here in the high desert city of Silver City, New Mexico, where Van is spearheading this fantastic effort where he got a grant to pay for over 100 installations where people are pulling stormwater off the street into street-side landscapes and on property landscapes so they get free water for life. Van is working with the city to reduce their flooding issues and also to reduce the issues of sediment getting washed into streets after storms, while providing people with free water to grow more verdant landscapes. That landscape behind him that's getting the runoff from the curb cut beside him, that used to just be bare dirt. Now it's turning into a little oasis, watered for free.
Okay, so this is a water harvesting curb cut in Silver City, New Mexico. We've got the water that comes down from the neighborhood up above. Several blocks of town are draining in this gutter. So we cut the concrete curb with a diamond saw and ground the gutter to divert the water. Then with a small backhoe, we dug a basin curb in this gutter. So we cut the concrete curb with a diamond saw and ground the gutter to divert the water. Then with a small backhoe, we dug a basin here, left a path and a low water crossing to access, to go from the front door to the mailbox in the street. Then there's another basin. It still has water from yesterday's rain. This soaks rapidly into the ground. Part of this project is that we don't like to use rocks except when it's absolutely necessary. And since there's a concrete inlet to a basin, no rocks are needed. This is rising up. It's not an erosional zone. After the first storm, we mashed some gravel into this channel. Just gravel will not be
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Did you come over to tell us that God figured it out on how to save all, or is he still going to have to annihilate the vast majority because they deserve it?
No, I was actually.
Go ahead, be honest. Be honest. You can be honest. Did God figure it out?
Yeah.
Is he wise enough to save all, or is he stupid and he's going to have to start over somehow with a fresh crew? These guys are not worthy. They don't deserve any kind of salvation. I'm going to burn them to a crisp. Is that it? Do I have the good news down pat?
Well, no. That's not the message Paul was talking about.
Oh, we're on to Paul now, huh?
Yeah, I was doing some studying today. What do you got on Cain and Abel?
Nothing. But Christ rose from the dead. There we go. That's a subject worthy of talking about because, nobody can raise anybody from the dead, but somehow, some way, God raised Christ from the dead. That's cool. Now let's talk.
What about he was made to be sin?
Isn't that something?
I mean,
that's 2 Corinthians 5:21. Yeah, he was made to be sin.
Yeah, that's kind of like a showstopper right there.
I guess it would be a showstopper for those who put sin up on a pedestal and think that is the thing to overcome. Which is, the vast majority of Christianity puts sin up on a pedestal and, that's their featured item, how to get people to stop sinning. Because they, read between the lines, they think that if you stop sinning, then God will owe you salvation. Yeah, then you'll have God in your debt if you can just stop sinning. He'll pay attention to you. But yeah, I don't give a crap about sin one way or the other, because our elder brother Paul, he's the one who told us that death is the problem. In Romans 5:12, death is the problem. The death is the thing that makes us sin. So if God can somehow abolish death in all of us, well, then sin won't even be a possibility. Do you know what Romans 5:12 says?
Yes.
What does it say?
It says, excuse me. Oh, let me just get the exact verbiage here. Romans chapter 5, verse 12 says, oh, I don't want the NIV. Man, this is terrible. Let me get a good one. Oh, sorry. Oh, Ace, I'm sorry. I got like
God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you. I got like a, what is that called? Post nasal drip. I'm like really sick, but I'm here. I'm toughing it out for you. So it says, through this, just as through one man, the sin into the world entered, and through the sin, the death. Thus also into all men, the death passed. For they all sinned.
That is misleading.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
How so?
It's throwing in the wrong kind of prepositions at the end. All right, but we'll leave it just as it is. Can we say from your rendering that death passed through into all mankind?
That's what it says, yeah.
All right. Now, we know that the latter part of your reading is not proper, because some people die even before they sin. Like babies who are 1 day old, 1 month old, 2 months old, they die. So therefore, we can conclude that death passed through into all mankind. Now, the latter part of your sentence should be more like, on the basis of which all sinned. But the way your sentence is constructed, it sounds like all sinned, that's why they die. But what Paul is saying in Romans 5:12 is all die, that's why they sin. And this is an important thing to get through to your head, because it illumines so much when looking at the gospel, and the gospel being how that Christ died, was entombed, and was raised from the dead. And so if we could understand that God promises to take care of death and abolish death and make all alive in Christ, then one day we really will be able to sing, "Oh, death, where is your victory? Ha, ha, ha. Oh, death, where is your sting?" Because if God can abolish death, man, all will be right with the world. All right, read it again. What translation? Is that your favorite AI-generated translation?
No.
Well, read it again from the translation you got and tell me what it is.
Just the latter part?
What translation are you reading from?
Oh, I'm just looking directly at the interlinear.
Okay. Read it again then.
So it says, through this, just as through one man the sin into the world entered.
Okay, are we clear on that? I mean, there's no problem so far, right? Because of Adam, sin entered the world.
Well, it's a definitive article. The sin. Hey, Hamarita. Sorry, Hamatia.
You think that matters?
No, but it is in the text.
That's going to directly shape your whole theology because there's a definite article there.
Well, not quite, but the next part we read might have something to do with it, yeah.
We're looking for a solution here. I hope we can find it
We'll find
because
it.
I don't have good luck with you in finding a solution. You just love to, exaggerate the bad and put an overemphasis on the bad. Okay, so can we agree that Adam sinned?
Yes.
Okay, can we agree that because Adam did that thing, sin entered into the world?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, the question is, did everybody sin or does everybody die? That's the
Well,
question.
let's see what the text says. Yeah.
Okay.
So it goes on to say, and through the sin, the death. So let's pause there. What does that mean to you?
And you don't know? Man, do I have to help you out step by step?
Yes.
Death entered because sin entered.
But what is the death? Why is death personified?
Just because we don't use definite articles in the same kind of way they do, it doesn't mean it's not understandable. You don't have to give this particular reference to death some special classification as if it's not death that everybody experiences. Oh, I just died. I didn't have the death. There's two different things. There's death and then there's the death. What? You know that the Greek uses the definite article more liberally than we do in our English idiom.
Well, right, like for example, it's the God. When it's not using, when it's not using the word the for theos, that's an anarthis. It's talking about the quality of God. But when there's a definitive article, it's personifying the word.
Okay, so we're making a big deal about death. So you want to make a bigger deal. Oh my God. So what kind of death are you talking about? Some kind of death that you're not going to experience because you're special, right?
No, everybody has experienced it. That's what the verse is saying.
No, everybody will experience it. Death passed through into all mankind.
Yeah.
Little babies who never sinned die. Christians who stop sinning die.
How do you stop sinning?
I don't know, but I've met a whole bunch of them who claim that they haven't sinned in 7 years.
Really?
And I'm not impressed.
Well, I wouldn't be either.
So why are we, what's the problem here? Why can't you see from Romans 5:12 that death is what is passed through into all mankind, and that death is the motivating factor that makes us behave the way we do? Because if you're born mortal, that means you are born and you could die the next day or the next day or the next month or the next year. You could die and you're going to die because death passed through into all mankind. And so just by being born and having this mortal body, and we call it life, affectionately, we call it life, but it's really a journey to death. All of us die. We keep the funeral business, going. We die as soldiers. We die in car wrecks. We die in hurricanes, volcanoes. We die from cancer. We die from hangnails.
Hangnails?
Yeah, you're dealing with a hangnail and you're not paying attention to the traffic, and one thing leads to another. But death, as a great motivating factor within us, that mortality We know that death also includes the bad digestion system. So you're grumpy as hell. I once knew a fellow who had cancer. Before anybody knew he had cancer, he was the grouchiest bitch in the world. And then once I learned that he had cancer, I go, well, that makes sense. That he would be a grouch all the time because he had cancer. And so if you are mortal and you are dying, you might get hungry because you're mortal and you're dying. And so therefore you might steal food. This mortal's existence shapes our ability to think clearly, and it shapes our behavior in many, many, many ways. And this is why it's important to get Romans 5:12 right. Do you see it yet? Death passed through into all mankind.
Yeah.
You got that?
Yeah.
Through one man's sin entered into the world, and through that sin, Adam's sin, death entered into the world. Okay? That's a complete thought. Through one man, Adam, sin entered into the world. And through his sin, we all became mortal. We were born mortal. Now we can look at the tag of the sentence and say, it is because of this that we all sin. Are you following?
Yeah, no, I'm follow. This is like very, like the bare bones basic logic of any theological approach to what Paul is writing about, right?
We weren't born sinners, we were born mortal. And because we are mortal, we will get around to sinning. Sinning is just a mistake. The word sin and mistake are the same word. Because we are mortal, we will make mistakes. We will sin. We will even offend God upon occasion. We will gossip because we're mortal. We will have low self-esteem because we're mortal. We'll steal food because we're mortal. We'll cheat on our taxes because we're mortal. We'll use beauty filters on our TikTok account because we're mortal and we got a pimply face and we don't want to look mortal. We want to look beautiful. This mortal existence causes us to behave the way we do. Are we tracking?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, so Paul is.
If we are truly tracking, now can you see why the resurrection of Christ is such an important topic of conversation? If God raised Christ unable to die again, and the promise through the pen of Paul is that God will raise all unable to die again, man, there goes sin. It disappears out the window because sin needs mortality and the law to be a big deal.
Right, I understand. But so my question was going to be with the purview of Paul, okay? Would you agree that he is like a Jewish man that would have known about the Septuagint, for example? Because, when he quotes the Old Testament in all of his letters, he's using the Septuagint version. He's not using what we would call the Masoretic text or Dead Sea Scrolls, right?
Do you want to talk to me or do you want Jill to come in here and you can do a tag team on me?
No, I don't want, I'm not trying to do a tag team at all. I'm just asking a question about Paul theologically, like the living, breathing human being known as Paul, our apostle. Do you think he understood the Septuagint?
Understood. I don't know. He read it. I don't have any thoughts about it. Why?
Well, when he in Paul's letters, when he quotes the Old Testament, is he quoting the Septuagint or is he quoting the Hebrew text?
I do not know. Should I?
Okay.
You want me to know?
Well, he quotes the Septuagint. Is what I was. What
Is
I'm
that a good thing or is that a bad thing? What?
Well, it brings into light why Paul in Romans 5:12 uses the definitive article for hotanados.
Okay,
Because
so what you're saying is because of the goddamn word "the," then we can go back and look at preterism in 70 AD in a whole new light. Oh, I am so thrilled. Give me more "thes."
right. So when we look at that definitive article, for example, in the Septuagint, you have Deuteronomy chapter 30, where God is telling Israel, "See, I have set before you this day life and good, and the death and evil." So Moses is speaking to obviously biologically living people, and he's defining life as dwelling in the land that they're about to go into and obeying those laws that they were just all up in a fussy about. But then he goes on to defy this death as being something distinct from biological expiration.
Oh my
He's
God.
equating it with exile
That's
and
my
curse.
ass, preterist. Death is a serious topic, and you want to make it a minimal topic and create a new monster that we must be afraid of. Don't be afraid of death. Be afraid of the death. Oh my God, the death is so much worse than death. You're
But it,
just finding a fucking excuse to bring in paganism and the worship of the immortality of the soul. Oh yeah, the death will get your very immortal soul. It'll make it not mortal. What is
okay,
wrong with
I
seeing
don't.
that death is the problem and that death was passed through into all mankind, and
you
therefore we sin?
I understand that, but let me ask you this. Do you believe that the Bible as you know it has been preserved, or is it like a disastrous mess of corruption that we just can't trust no matter what?
I don't trust the Bible in your hands, that's for sure.
I'm not asking about the Bible in my hands. I'm talking about the texts
I
that
don't
comprise
trust the
the Bible.
text in your hands, that's for sure.
Ace, I'm not asking about the text in my hands. I'm asking if somebody puts down a concordant version of the works known as the Bible in front of you, do you believe that the texts that translation of the concordant literal translation was derived from are accurate, or are they corrupt and we can't trust it with the 10-foot pole?
Neither.
Oh, okay, so you should probably just be a Muslim because
Well,
that's what a
thank you very
Muslim.
much. Keep it up, Bucky, and I know that you love to come over here and thoroughly piss me off. Maybe Jill can help you out in pissing me
I
off.
don't.
Go ahead, Jill. Tell
I'm not
us
trying
what
to
you
piss you
got.
off, man. I'm really not trying to
Well,
piss you off.
he is a Muslim, so
See, Jill is first thing out of his mouth pisses me off. To accuse the saints, that's what Satan does.
or a Buddhist. I thought you were a Buddhist when I first started watching your channel. To be honest with you, I did think you were a Buddhist.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. It's a question of like if you're standing in the words of Paul, because this is what you've been doing for. I've been coming to your show for at least the last 4 years, and the last 4 years that I've known you, you are digging trenches into the word of Paul, but Paul, he has a baseline that he's working off of, right? Paul didn't just wake up one morning and say, "I'm going to create Christianity," right?
I can agree with that.
Okay, perfect. I agree with you too. He was working on a baseline, and he's very apparent about that. He's like, "Look, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. I was circumcised. I studied under Gamaliel. Blah 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 blah, blah all that fun stuff." And he uses that as the kind of like the springboard to jump into his evangel. The thing
is his evangel that Christ was roused from among the dead, unable to die again.
Yes, that is.
Why
that is
the fuck can't you and I talk about this? Every time we try to talk about it, you got to run all over the board like zigzag here and there. Why? Why is it not interesting to you that Christ rose from the dead? No, it's got to be THE, the definitive article, the. It's got to be second covenant, new covenant. Oh, yeah, that special covenant that you're not a part of, Ace, but I am. And you're not deserving, Ace, but I am. What about the resurrection from the
hold
dead?
on.
How does this change everything about everything?
Well, I think you are deserving. So I don't even want to go down that route. That's all I've ever done is cared about you, and you hate that I care about you. I don't understand it, but I really do.
I care that Christ rose from among the dead, and it changes everyone eventually.
I understand that, Ace. I'm 100% agreeing with you. I've never once denied that Jesus Christ rose from the dead. I've never once. Now I've had people accuse me of denying the bodily resurrection, the biological resurrection, but I always make it definitively clear. No, I believe Jesus biologically died and biologically rose. Yes, I agree with that. But Paul is working in Romans 5:12 off of the basis of the death of the Adam.
And this is why we need to just dismiss and marginalize Romans 5:12 and get back to 70 AD just as soon as we can.
I'm trying to exegete it. That's not marginalizing it. That's trying to bring it into a greater light so we can understand what Paul is talking about. He knew the Septuagint. He knew the Greek version of the Old Testament. That's what he quotes. Paul does not quote the Hebrew scriptures.
All right, why do you bring it up? What do you got? Something in the Septuagint that says 70 AD is the hot shit and we're all wrong?
No, I never said that. But what I'm saying is that the reason why Paul uses the definitive article is because he understands in that Septuagint, that Old Testament, when it's got ho thanatos, it's not talking about biological death.
I think you're full of shit, and you are dying, and death is a serious topic, and the wages of sin is death. And you're making two different kinds of death. Oh, yeah, that's right. You believe in spiritual death. The two words that cannot show up in the same sentence in the Bible. Because spirit is life and death is death. And why do you want to go on finding a goddamn argument to say you're spiritually dead, but I'm super duper alive and I'm already past 70 AD. Wait till you have your 70 AD moment, Ace.
Wait, so Ace, you don't believe that the Bible teaches there are two types of death? You don't believe that, Ace?
Well, even beyond that, though, that'd be like, it's the same argument where you could say, well, the word Unitarian isn't in the Bible. The word Trinity isn't in the Bible. The word Bible.
I don't use either of those words.
Well, you are a universalist Unitarian, right? Oh, universal reconciliation doesn't appear in the Bible either, but we know the concepts are there.
Why don't you believe? So you only believe there's a physical death, Ace?
He's exited out of his part, and now it's you and me.
Oh, poor baby. Poor baby. Ace, you get a little too old for this.
I mean, I just want to have a conversation with Ace. I love talking to Ace, and I genuinely care about you, Ace. I know you, for some reason, you like hate the fact that I'd be like, hey, man, I do care about you. Like, as a human being, I really do. You know, when you were gone for like 2 weeks or something, I was freaking out. I was like, man, don't tell me that something happened to Ace. Seriously.
Oh, gosh.
In my own personal life, I thought about you, Ace. I'm not just here to be a thorn in your butt.
Yes, you are. But thorns are good things. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I'm certainly here to be a thorn. Ace, you can't run off like a little schoolgirl every time Joe comes on the show.
I mean, I don't even know. It's like the conversation got too real, so he had to like walk out, and it's like, is that really defending your position, man?
He's like one of
No.
the Cosby kids. You know, when something
Yeah.
goes wrong, he just runs up the steps. You know.
Oh yeah, or yeah.
Like Rudy from the Cosby.
That's funny.
Ace, man up, man. I came in here to talk about death, your favorite topic. This religion of death you started over here. Oh god. But I guess he doesn't want to talk when I come around. But so what's going on with you, Freddie?
Not much. We're just
Besides
chilling.
70 AD.
Not much. Yeah, just been chilling and studying, and hopefully, I mean, I'm glad to see Ace is doing okay.
Wait, so he kicked out the other guy too?
No, I think he just made us big. So they
So the
went.
other,
Maybe
so the third guy, there was another guy in here. What was his name? Vin or Seven or something like that.
Oh yeah, 7. Yeah,
Is that how do you say his name?
I think it's 7.
7, something like that.
So I mean, I think
So he must have kicked him because I don't see him on the screen. It's just me and you.
yeah, it's possible.
Wow, Ace. So Ace has so much control over his kingdom, but God, God will be all in all. Well, why don't you let us be all in all with your channel, Ace? If God has to be all in all and he has to give up his kingdom to us.
And then
We become
also
gods. Ye are gods.
also it's funny because Ace just put the little thing right here, death is the last enemy, but not the death. That's actually not true. 1 Corinthians 15:26 says the final enemy being abolished, the death. So it's got the definitive article as well.
But the dead know nothing.
Oh, look, there he is.
Oh, God.
It's the internet's favorite Gnostic. Hello.
The death know nothing. The death know nothing. Okay.
Oh, Halsey is in the chat too.
Read Ecclesiastes 9. Read the whole chapter.
But now they're hanging over bartenders, so they're not bothering me getting.
Wow.
What the heck was that? Sound like a parrot.
Well, Collision of Souls is like basically he's like the ultimate Gnostic. He has like spiritual truths only he knows, and you have to reach a certain level of enlightenment to understand how he's escaping the demiurge.
Oh, like
And
the
the Bible
Manichaean.
explains
He's a Manichaean, basically.
I think so. Yes. He talks about like the lower man and the higher man consciousness.
God.
Which
Where's
I mean,
where's his
we
leader
could
Oprah at? Let's bring her on.
we could argue that there's like obviously concepts like I'm from above, you're from below, but this is like talking about obviously Christ Jesus coming from heaven and in the incarnate form of the Word of God. But
The Secret, Rhonda Burns. Oh man, you guys are so superstitious. This is what Paul was talking about when he went up to Athens. Too superstitious.
well, we're supposed to reject womanish myths and fables, but then Ace says we're the ones that actually accept the womanish myths and fables.
Hey, Pratt. Hey, Jill.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good, man. I got a YouTube recommendation, like a video. The guy was breaking down how the Truman Show, that movie with Jim Carrey, is actually a Gnostic parallel. It's about him escaping the demiurge. You might like that video. I should drop it off to you.
Yeah. Have you confirmed your suspicion?
Yes.
Okay. Private interpretation or biblical?
Well, I mean, Gnosticism is like extra biblical because it arose after the writings, but it was like an attempt to interpret on like some different type of spiritual level the writings.
Would you say I'm to the right, to the left, or like way out in left field of the Armenians, Calvinists, preterists?
I don't know.
Where
I think
I
Joe could-
just need to know where you want to label me, because
Well, I would label you as a
what
Gnostic.
God has to say about me through the blood of the cross. I know what my value is. My value is the blood of Christ on that cross. But I need to know what you think, because I know that you think that your position is more important than Christ's position. So let me know what that is.
Well, positionally, I could never be in Christ's position because, the whole thing that happened there. But I mean, I believe you would be labeled as a Gnostic. That's kind of what umbrella you would fall under.
From whose vantage point?
The scriptures.
Yeah, I would just mean like any kind of like vantage point. Like things have to be categorically put into places. A tree is a tree; it's not a unicorn. So if we break it out like that, I would say you fall under the umbrella of Gnosticism.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's been many Gnostics before you, and there'll be many Gnostics after, I'm sure. But just know the demiurge isn't real, and the what are the guys that try to like alter reality so that the illusion isn't broken? Those guys, they're not real either. But
Do you believe in the Mandela effect also, Collision?
I listen, when we talk, I don't know anything but Christ crucified. That's my anchor. Christ is crucified. He shed his blood for the sins of the world. He came in the flesh. He died on that cross. And it's a finished work. It's a finished work.
Yeah. But just so you know, it's technically the sin of the world, not the sins, plural.
I don't know that I said plural, but
you did. You said he died for the sins of the world, but if you look at the actual text, it's singular use case.
Right.
Yeah. So the sin of the world, which
so do you think if I said to Jesus, you died for the sins of the world versus the sin of the world, do you think that my mortality wouldn't be covered by his immortality at that point? Like, would his grace cover my mistakes at that point?
Oh yeah, I don't think that's the reason why anybody would be,
I was just checking. I was just busting on you, brother. Just checking.
But I know that Jill, okay, so Jill and me and Ace are all in alignment at least about God being sovereign. And at least we have that going for us.
No, we're not.
No?
No. No, there's tension because of the universal scope of their and the application of the death or the death on the cross. So that does sort of compromise God's sovereignty if it's effective for everyone, not just those who receive him by faith.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I think the Calvinistic perspective would be in his sovereignty. He's working all things though into his accord, right?
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. But Jesus spoke of his death as for many, not all.
I can
Yeah.
accept that, Jim. I can accept that because that's where your vantage point is. That's okay.
That's Mark's vantage point.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark's vantage point was pre-ascension.
To quote Jesus.
Yeah, before Christ ascended to the Father. Jesus told his disciples, "Don't touch me. I haven't ascended to the Father yet."
No. Okay, so before I descend to the Father, hold on, Freddie. Let's stay in Mark 10. Before he ascends to the Father, he says that he has come to give his life as a ransom for many, what he would do.
Right.
Before he ascends, right?
Agreed.
Okay. So that's what he says he would, that's who he says he died for before he ascends. So why are you bringing up he said this before he ascended? Why is that relevant?
Because your interpretation of the many is my interpretation of the all. So my vantage point is a higher vantage point than yours.
He didn't change who he died for after he ascended.
He absolutely included all.
He says
there's 100.
He says he came to give his life as a ransom for many. That didn't change after he ascended. Now I'm giving my life. I gave my life as a ransom for all.
Do you disregard the letters of Paul?
No, I don't. Paul doesn't disregard Mark. So why do I disregard Paul? Paul didn't disregard Mark.
But
Paul taught the same
you're missing the division between the circumcision and the uncircumcision.
No, sir, this has nothing to do with the circumcision or the uncircumcision.
It absolutely does.
No, first you tried to throw. No, sir, it has nothing to do with the circumcision and the uncircumcised. Jesus tells us who he died
on the cross when he said this.
He's telling you who he's going to die for. Is he lying?
And who is that?
Is he lying? Many. Not all.
Who is that? The many. That's your interpretation.
No, it's not an interpretation.
It totally is. Because Paul says all later.
Paul says all later. All who? Of who?
All
of the Christians.
All.
The context reveals.
Oh, the universe will be reconciled.
Okay, so Paul is contradicting
your
Jesus.
Universe is small. Your universe is inside of a church.
In my universe, Paul does not.
Your universe doesn't extend beyond the church walls. Our universe extends in the whole universe, subterranean and terranean.
Well, that's not the Bible.
And celestial. When God created the universe in Genesis 1:1,
it's not in the Bible. That's what we're showing you. You can talk about what your religion teaches.
You're not showing
talk about what your religion teaches all you want till you're blue in the face.
Jill.
But it's not in the Bible. That's what we're showing.
Jill, there were two distinct realms in Genesis 1:1: the terranean, the earth, and the heavens or the celestial. You are still on the earth. You are a Jew. You're talking in circumcision terms. That's okay. There's no condemnation for that because we're all in Christ. Because we all died on that cross in 2 Corinthians 5:14.
Point. Many in the Jewish language, many in the
Who
Jewish
died on the cross with Christ?
Doesn't mean a few. It's a contrast with
everybody died with him on that cross. So the whole creation was crucified.
It emphasizes a vast number, not every individual.
You're dodging it.
Dodging what?
2 Corinthians 5:14.
With every single person. You're the one that's cutting off. You're the one that's cutting off when I'm speaking. So what am I dodging, coward? If you can't shut up to hear my answer, you're the one that's dodging.
Okay, you're gonna name calling now? Seriously?
Well, that's what you are, sir. I'm sorry. You say I'm dodging, but when I go to speak, you start to over talking.
Maybe there's a delay. Maybe there's a delay.
No, there's no delay, sir. There's no delay. You don't want the answers. You want to believe what your religion has taught you. So go right ahead.
I don't have all the answers.
You don't have any answers because they're not coming from Scripture.
2 Corinthians 5:14. Have you read it?
I've read it, sure, in its context.
What does it say?
Sure. Would you like to learn what it says in its context?
No, not from you. No, because your
course
vantage
not.
point is lower realm. You're
Corinthians
circumcision.
what? Second
I'm
Corinthians
beyond
what?
circumcision. I've climbed up the mountain
You're
higher
beyond
than that.
circumcision. Right, right. Okay, Second Corinthians what? 5 what? Exactly. Second Corinthians 5 what? Run away. Because you don't want to deal with any of these texts in the context in which Paul wrote it. You don't want to deal with the term all in the context in which Paul wrote it. You want to create your own religion, extract the word, extract these terms, the terminology Paul uses from its immediate context, and create your own definition. That's your religion. That's your religion in a nutshell. So run away back to your little echo chamber, which is here. So I guess you have nowhere to run to. Who will I run to? So it's just me and you again, Freddie. Oh, look,
No,
he's back.
I appreciate your content.
Who shall I run to?
No, I have a metal roof on my house, so my internet cuts out.
What does one died for all mean?
Tell me what it is.
Mm-hmm. This is where your interpretation dies. Where does one died for all mean? So who's the one? Let's start there. Who's the one? I'm not talking about the Marvel comic universe either. Because there's a one in the Marvel comic universe that we got to contend with, not just these guys over here making stuff up in the Bible. The one is Christ. Who's the one?
I'm trying to get rid of an echo. There's an echo. I can't get rid of it. Just 1 second.
The one is Christ. He died. His death was real. It's a substitutionary death. So Paul is saying something here that is objective and historical. Take him at face value. The for all, that's on behalf of others, not for himself. So Christ died as a substitutionary death on behalf of others. This matches Jesus' teachings. He gave his life as a ransom for many. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. And then he ascends. He doesn't lay down his life for anything else but the sheep. And then he's gone. Well, he didn't ascend yet. Well, the fact that he ascended means that the atonement is finished. It is finished. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep, for his sheep. He says that they're my sheep. All that the Father has given me, I will not lose. None of them I will lose. The key phrase that you skipped is therefore all have died. Therefore all have died. This is what Paul is not saying. He's not saying everyone who ever lived automatically dies with Christ and is saved. What he's saying is that those who Christ died for are so united to him that his death counts as their death. Christ's death counts as our death. This is the union with Christ language Paul employs, Paul uses. You guys need to turn to a Bible study. Turn to a Bible study for help. Or read the darn chapter. And he died for all, that those who live might no longer live for themselves, but for him. Is he talking about every person that ever lived? No, because not everyone lives. Not everyone responds. Those who live already limits the all. Not everyone lives. So how Paul uses all matters. Context matters. If all men, every human without exception, then no one would need reconciliation. No one would still be in Adam. Why is Paul throwing around the in Adam? Why is he throwing around that term, saying people are in Adam? No one would be in Adam. No one would still be in Adam if Christ's atonement was for all. No one would be called to respond to the gospel. Common sense dictates then that the all are those who are represented by Christ and all kinds of people without distinction. That's quite obvious.
So, Jill, I missed something coming in, but are you saying that he should have maybe used a different word or been more specific about which all he was talking about?
No, what's wrong with he was specific. I read you the context. The context is king. If I'm having a conversation with my team and you take an excerpt out of that and say, hey, Jill is saying all the teams are going to win the Super Bowl. Everyone's going to be successful. You took an excerpt from my speech that I had to motivate my team. That's dishonest. It is referring to all who are united to Christ. Otherwise, there would be no such thing as those who are in Adam, those who are still in Adam. If Christ's atonement was for every single person, there is no such group as, like yourself, those who are in Adam. No such group would exist. But a group does exist because there are people who are not united to Christ. There are people who do not represent Christ or are not represented by Christ. So the all there is not all inclusive. It has to be, by implication, all kinds of people without distinction. Jews, Gentiles, and of course the Gentile nations are made up of everyone else, Mexicans, etc. So you get your visa when you get to heaven, not when you come into America illegally. Okay.
Your news is so good. I'm just enthralled with your good news.
All right, Pablo.
I mean, Halsey's my friend.
That is good news.
That Halsey's my friend. Will's my friend. They're not believers, but Christ died for them. And they're included.
If they believe.
If they're given the faith of Christ, when
fair, Dennis,
when they're given the faith of Christ.
Dennis, yeah. I want to be fair. I did not actually receive an invitation, so I might not have been invited.
You weren't invited. You weren't invited into this realm either.
That's true.
You didn't choose your hair color. You didn't choose your DNA. You didn't choose your parents. You didn't choose the time you were born. Nope. That's how it starts.
Couldn't argue that.
No.
Yo, Dennis, what's happening?
Hey, brother, how are you?
All right, man. I just had a question for you. Who's responsible for your arguments?
What is the source of your question?
It's a simple question.
Who's responsible?
He answered it.
I'm returning it with a question. What is the source? What is the source or the intention of your question? What are you trying to
find out? To find out if you claim responsibility for your own arguments. So, are you responsible for your arguments, or who is responsible for your arguments? If it's not you.
Let me process that for a minute.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that I need to process that?
I mean, who else would it be?
Yeah, here's another idea.
Wait, hold on. So you posed a question and he wants to think about it, JG. That should be a welcome.
Yeah, you can think about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just interesting. Who would he come up with? You know what I mean?
He's going to come up with an answer sooner than later, I hope. But Since Ace is
Jill, I'm a polemic like you, but you can be kind. You don't have to be an unkind polemic.
That's
There's
true.
nobody more skeptical than me, but you're
Yeah,
not very kind.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be more kind.
Yeah, because one of the fruits of the spirit is just be kind. Like
That's just
Be,
feelings.
be kind to one another. Tender
yeah.
heart.
Let's be kind to one another.
Sure, let's be kind.
We got to exist on this planet of toxic stew, so let's work with each other.
Okay,
Let's try to
let's
forgive
try,
each
let's try to do that. From
other.
Genesis to Revelation, the prophets, Jesus, the apostles, the Bible consistently presents the dead as alive. True or false? Aware. True or false?
I don't think that's where we're at right now. But
Oh, alive, aware, personal, and awaiting resurrection. True or false? According to the whole of Scripture.
Are you asking one specific person or everyone?
Not your pet verses that you ripped out of it, their immediate context. Alive, aware, and personal. Do you know the concept of Sheol? Is anybody aware of the concept of Sheol?
yes, that's the emoji, the woman in the orange shirt that's shrugging her shoulders in the Hebrew.
The realm of the what? Where the what exists? The dead.
So
The
are
realm
you?
of the dead. True?
It's.
The dead exists.
I was gonna
They
say.
exist.
Sheol, the concept, the Jewish concept is Sheol. Are you familiar? Is anyone familiar with that?
Yeah.
I
In
thought,
the
I thought
original-
Solomon.
yeah.
And
I
it-
thought Solomon said in Ecclesiastes that the dead know not nothing. And
No,
they
no,
have
no,
more
no, no.
works under
Don't
the sun or
distract.
anything.
Don't distract, sir. We'll get
No,
to
I'm
that.
asking
verse.
you, do they exist?
We'll get to that verse, which
You're
you
asking him
butchered.
not to do what he does.
We'll get to that verse. But I'm asking about from Genesis to Revelation, there is a concept in the Old Testament called Sheol. And this is a place where the dead exists. And in this place, they are alive and aware, and they are awaiting something. Correct?
Are they still
True?
there?
It's kind of hard to sell the idea of salvation when the person actually dies. You have
Told
to keep the idea of the person alive in some way for them to have.
We're not
Halsey,
trying
you're
to-
not. They're not
trying to
talking about that.
psychoanalyze. We're not
Yes,
trying to
yes, Jill.
psychoanalyze.
Jill, I'll
We're not
answer your
trying to
question. Yes.
psychoanalyze, Halsey. The
Yes,
concept
yes.
of
Sheol exists in the Old Testament. Yes.
And in Sheol are the people are there. They are dead. It's the abode of the dead. That's what the word literally means.
They're
Where
bored.
the dead live. Where the dead live. The abode, the living dwelling place of the dead. True or false?
That's what you're telling us.
Oh God. See, this is why.
No, this is why I'm an agnostic.
This
on
is
these
why
issues, but I'm
Christ
processing.
does not die
Exactly.
for all. We
Right.
are
But does
processing-
Sheol exist now?
we are seeing in real time why
Jill.
he rebukes the Pharisees. Why he
Jill,
rebukes
before you preach, could you just answer my question? Does Sheol
because
exist
you
now?
cannot be honest.
I'm asking you if it
I'm
exists
not
now.
asking. That's a debate.
Is
we
that
can
the only
have.
question I have to ask to bring you to your
I don't know
knees?
if it exists.
Answer the question.
Does it exist now? Is it a concept that's in the scriptures? Yes.
So
Does it
Sheol
exist
exists,
now?
and there's hell, there's
Why are you
Sheol, and
moving
there's
the goalpost?
heaven.
It has to
I'm
exist.
I'm
now.
trying to get the geography down.
No, sir. You're trying to obfuscate.
No, I'm asking you
It's a
if it exists
concept
now.
that existed in the Old Testament. Whether it exists now is irrelevant. That's a debate within the Christian community.
Oh, okay. It's just
People
for Christians to
believe-
talk about at the cult
Some
meetings.
People believe that the saints were removed from Sheol when Jesus died. He went and removed the saints, and others believe that they are still awaiting resurrection. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, Mr. Red Herring, is that this is a concept that existed in the Old Testament. So don't be surprised if Jews in the first century pick up on this. This doesn't come from the Greeks. Oh, immortal soul, it came from the Greeks. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's showing that you're not filled with the Spirit.
Jill,
It's
be kind.
showing that you can read an entire
Who's
Bible.
he even talking to anymore?
You can
Be
read an
kind.
entire book that talks about Sheol
He's talking to someone.
and
I
then
just don't know who.
decide, I'm just going to ignore that and say the Christians made it up and got it from the Greeks.
I've got some good red wine for you.
That's how lame you guys are over here.
Mac. Good to see you.
What's up, Will? Good to see you. I'm here for that mild and quiet life.
How are you, Mac?
Doing all right, brother. Doing all right, man.
I like Mac.
Aw.
Good drama.
Were you talking to Mac just then? Were you? Because I still don't know who the hell you were talking to, Jill.
Mac, you're in the Jill Likes Me Club. That is so cool.
It's awesome.
1 Peter chapter 3. Let me prove it to you.
You were talking to Peter? Who the hell were you talking to?
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 18. What does it say?
All right, deal with Peter first and then talk to us.
What does it say, Mac? Jesus went and proclaimed to what in prison?
Sorry,
Spirit.
what's the verse?
Homosexuals.
Spirit. He went and he preached, he proclaimed the gospel to the spirits in prison. This is why some people believe that they are freed from that prison, quote unquote. Peter calls it a prison. These were believers who had died. Peter says that Jesus went and proclaimed, so they are aware. They have consciousness. Now, you brought up Ecclesiastes and how you guys have been butchering this passage for I don't know how long.
Who are you guys?
Whoever believes in
You don't even know who you're talking to.
whoever believes in soul sleep, for you're not the only ones that butcher Ecclesiastes 9.
Okay, thanks.
Soul sleep opponents do the same thing. The
Jill,
dead
can
know
I ask
nothing.
you a question? Jill, can I ask you a question?
Sure. Ecclesiastes speaks from an under the sun perspective.
Okay.
From an under the sun perspective. So the dead know nothing about what is going on.
He has no free will. He can't stop once he gets started.
on Earth. Okay, what's
It's
your
like
question?
a machine.
Well, no, he wanted to ask the question when I was in the middle of explaining Ecclesiastes.
You guys are suddenly clear on who has a will or not now. You guys know.
Oh, you want to join in?
Text that he's
always-
been butchering for the past 6 months. So what's your question? Under the sun is the context of Ecclesiastes. So the dead know nothing about what's going on earth.
God.
Okay, but that's not to say to contradict Sheol. Why the heck would Solomon contradict Sheol? He comes from the culture of Sheol.
I asked if it still existed.
Like, why would he contradict? Why don't you read a little further instead of the little?
It doesn't mention it in Revelation, does it?
You're talking about Ecclesiastes, right? You said
When it says the dead give up
know
their.
nothing. Why didn't
when
you
it-
read a little further?
Okay.
Besides
yeah.
the excerpt, that's not even a whole sentence.
You're right. I stopped right there. I didn't read any more of the Bible. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, he'll go on to say that he's referring to under the sun. The dead know nothing under the sun. So you won't be able to hear.
Did you like the way you sounded when you said that? Just
you
it sounded
won't-
like you liked how you said that.
We won't be
Yeah, you
able.
knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, he's like that sounded convincing, didn't it?
We won't be
Poetic
able.
as well.
But are you getting to the substance of the matter, or are you just talking about?
Oh,
his-
do you want to talk about the Bible?
We won't be
You
able to
getting
hear
to
your
the substance of the
content.
matter of the conversation, or are you just?
But
pointing
would you
out
like to
how
talk
it's-
about the Bible?
I can't finish my sentence when you keep interrupting me, dude. It's like he's presenting information to you, and you're talking about the way he's speaking. Are you even involved in the conversation?
Yeah, no, he doesn't need our help. He will talk just by himself. He does this when he's alone. He does not need us.
So you can't engage with him, is what you're saying?
I can engage with him when he's quiet.
No, they cannot engage.
Listen, there has to be discernible pauses. There's no pauses.
Did you get time to think? Did you get time to think about
How do we
the arguments, Dennis?
How do we
Whether or not you're
dialogue?
responsible for your own arguments? Did you get time to think about that yet? Or
Be kind.
I'm being
Show
kind.
that you have the spirit by being kind.
Do you
Because
need more
that's
time?
one of the fruits of the spirit. Listen, I broke my foot a week ago, and Buddhists and atheists have been more kind to me than Christians.
Oh, poor baby.
That's fair enough,
No,
but
see, that's
you
not
saying,
kind.
Was I kind
kind.
enough for you when I talked about Ecclesiastes 9
Jill,
in context?
Jill, you love eternal torment.
Was that kind?
That's
kind? What about
you love
no one said anything about eternal torment? What about Ecclesiastes?
No, but we're experiencing it when you talk.
Was I kind?
because
Was
I'm
I
in
kind
torment
enough?
right now.
Sampling eternity.
Was I kind enough for you when I discussed Ecclesiastes 9? And I showed you that the context demands
Jill,
that
listen,
you not say
I would have dunked
Don't
over
know
you.
nothing about what
100%.
happens after they
I would have
die.
dunked over you. Don't try to be masculine with me. You're
Don't
feminine.
do
You're
that with our
feminine.
Bibles.
You keep talking.
Oh my God.
Please don't
keep
do that with
talking.
our Bibles. Thank you.
You keep talking.
Make up
He's
your
like a
own
little
Bible.
motorboat. He
Be
just
masculine.
diesels on and on and on.
Be masculine and stop talking.
Oh,
They're just talking about
Now
the
he
way
wants to
you're
talk about
talking. They're not talking
masculinity.
about any of the content.
I couldn't hear you, JG. I could only hear Jill beating his gums together loudly.
Wait. Don't let Will Freeman bully you, okay, Jill?
Masculinity. This guy is talking about masculinity over here. Kidding me.
Yeah. Is that metaphorical or a little? Wow.
Is anybody else
Okay.
not sure who's responsible for their arguments other than Dennis?
No. They like take accountability
well,
for anything.
I do notice that Ace left. Is he? He's kind of over it, or what?
Another one.
You just got that, did you?
Zero accountability, but they want to talk about masculinity.
Well, you came over, so. I don't
Oh,
know.
JG,
Tell us about self-importance, Jill.
Yeah,
Wait, JG, run a Gnostic argument against Collision of Souls. He's definitely Gnostic, right?
I mean, he won't even tell me who's responsible for his arguments. I can't get past step one.
How do you mean responsible?
Well, I mean, Halsey, when you're giving an argument or you're asserting something, making a claim, who's responsible for the claim you're making?
Well, it's usually something that's falsifiable or not. So if you're stating
So are
something,
you responsible for your claims you're making right now, or is it
Okay,
somebody
so
else?
why are you going to ask me questions and then interrupt me?
Who's responsible for what you're saying right now?
The words are coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, so it would
I'm
be
the
you,
one that's
wouldn't it?
thinking about saying them and then saying them. So
Yeah, very easy, right? That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
JG, what was my answer?
You have to think about it.
Okay. Can I present my answer now?
Yeah.
Who is speaking?
Your answer is a question?
Who is speaking to you right now?
Dennis.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and
And
finish
who
it.
animates me? And who animates me? Me? Do I animate myself?
who is me,
Obviously-
Dennis?
Obviously, in the relative perspective, I
Uh-oh.
I
Now we're going to split up realms, right?
Okay,
We're gonna
can
go
I
to the schism.
finish? Can I listen? Can I? You asked me, and then you interrupt me, so I'm going to stop.
Well, I said who, and then you asked me a question.
No, I was trying to present my answer to you.
I mean,
but
Halsey
you're not
answered for
ready for my. No, she didn't answer.
She did answer. She knows that she's responsible for the words coming out of her mouth. It's simple, dude. What's the problem here? I mean, seriously.
I was trying to present my answer, but
All
you
right.
interrupted me.
Can I add something to my response?
No, you cannot add to the scriptures.
All right. So
I'm waiting,
if
Dennis.
y'all-
I put it on mute so you can answer. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, fuck
No,
you, Halsey.
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, come
Are you
on.
are you just stalling, Dennis? Come on, man.
Not at all.
Come on.
No,
You said you had it. I was waiting for you. Go ahead.
Bro, he's stalling more than that dude in World
No,
War II.
as soon as I tried to talk, you interrupted me, so I'll let you go.
So you're going to
Dennis,
use
is
that.
it
You're
the
going to use
Denny
that
or-
as a standing point that you won't answer because I interrupt you. I'll stop and let you answer. Go ahead.
Is it the demiurge that's causing you to do everything, Dennis?
What do you know about the demiurge?
Well, that's what Collision of Souls is about. He's about the
But
demiurge.
what do you know about the thing that you just mentioned?
I mean, I know that it's a Gnostic idea.
What does the word mean? I guess is where I'm going.
Oh, like the etymology of the word?
Just what does the word mean? Yeah.
Well, it's the force.
It just means creator. That's it. That's all it means.
But who is the creator?
Exactly. So who is the creator and what's his nature?
Right, that's what the Gnostics were trying to get out of the scriptures.
Yeah, they think that the creator is a subcontractor, more or less.
Yeah, and there's like the agents that come in and make sure the illusion stays up. You know, people that seek the truth, they start seeking them out to kill them or whatever. That's why they killed Christ, basically, because he was here revealing this great Gnostic truth that the world just could not stand to have.
You know,
And I think
Jackasses
that's
for Christ would be an awesome motorcycle gang.
Hey, look, Doubting Thomas says I'm interrogating Dennis. I'm asking him who's responsible for his arguments. That's the level we're on here.
T, come in and visit.
Wait, is that premise one? We can't move past premise one.
That's an
here?
interrogation to ask somebody who's responsible
JG,
for the
you're not interrogating me. We're good.
I know.
I know
Wait,
you're
is it-
not.
Wait, JG,
I know this
is
is
it
a game.
premise-
This is a game.
Is it premise
I know.
one though? Is premise one who is making his argument for him, or is that the conclusion?
No, I mean, what? It's a question to him.
But like, are you formulating like premises so you can like?
I'm
get
waiting
into a
for his
good-
answer, dude.
Yeah, he's not gonna answer.
Can I I'm gonna throw up a small bit to add.
Yeah, I'm
to
gonna
mine.
throw up too.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, who's a jerk for Jesus? Since you're already throwing that up on the screen.
No, somebody else said something that was
Motorcycle gangs.
Jackasses
Who
for
are you
Christ.
talking about there?
I was giving Ace another version of what he said. Jackasses for Christ.
JG was interrogating. He didn't see those things.
Anyway,
I know. Asking you who you.
there are
who's
some
responsible
people
for it.
that think that because they believe as they do, that they're on a special list with God, and that God will allow for them to be doing things that people would normally consider asshole moves in God's name, on behalf of God, and because they're doing it for God, they think it's okay to be like
Okay,
that.
good. Tell us why that's wrong from your worldview.
What does that have to do
saying
with what
it's
she's
wrong.
saying? Is
Because
it?
she's making a claim that there's a problem, right? Like people are
She
being
didn't
asked-
say it was wrong. She didn't say.
I said
This
there are
is
some
wrong.
people who are in this position. That's all I said.
Implication is that someone's being.
Are you reading into it? I think you're reading into it
Of course I am.
again.
Of course I
Okay,
am.
so not everyone is looking for these
Who's
moral
asking you,
implications.
by the way? Oh, you got to.
I just volunteered. Is there somewhere that it's written that that's wrong? Where do you find that it's wrong from your
I mean,
world?
are you really this simple? Like a jerk points to someone who.
Oh, I'm
is-
sorry. You beat me. You called me simple. Oh no.
I can't finish.
I don't know. That's a personal problem. Work on it.
Oh man, you're so witty, dude. It's so.
I know.
good. When you imply someone's a jerk, you're implying that they're moving away from.
She said
proper-
some people would
Dude,
call them
why
a
do you keep
jerk
that-
because you're slow. I'm trying to help you keep up.
Dude, this is pretty simple. I mean, it's just a matter of time before she makes a claim about, the way she
And then what?
feels versus what somebody else said. So if you want to have that hang up on this particular point, have it. And by the way, I was asking her, not you.
Yeah, we got that. I'm just inconsiderate.
Did you catch the critique earlier?
What?
Did you catch the critique earlier?
No.
You should.
Why? It's just you pretending to have some greater knowledge. You always do that.
It
You
might be
pre-select your presupposition in which book you like, and then from there you have all truth and everyone else is wrong. That's so weak. No one's buying it. Sell something different.
The critique might be helpful to you.
I'm not interested. I've had discussions with you. If you can't vocalize it to me, I'm not interested in watching you
Well, I
babble
can't
to nobody.
vocalize the critique to you. I've told you, I've talked to you at length. Your epistemology is barren, and you're just like, I don't care. I'm just going to claim I know things and not know how I know things.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he knows. See,
Yeah, it's colloquial, but that's okay. I know.
he knows.
Now where are you going to go with it? Does that make me a bad person?
What is a bad person from your worldview?
I don't have such a thing in my worldview.
Well, then why are you using the term bad person?
I asked you if it made me one.
What is a bad person from your worldview? You see how simple this is?
It's a name that Christians call people, I suppose.
You're using it,
Yeah.
right? Are you responsible for your claim, or is it somebody else?
Does it make me a sinner?
Are you responsible for your claims?
Oh, sure I am. Yeah.
Okay, good. So
does that make me a sinner?
So how
does that make me a sinner?
Dude.
Does it make me Does it make me a sinner?
Does that make you a sinner?
Dude, does
So-
it make me a sinner?
No.
Okay, so I'm not a bad guy.
Halcyon and Will at least are saying they're
I'm
responsible
still
for
going
the
to add
claim.
something.
Those are your friends, Dennis. You should listen to your
I'm
friends.
still going to add something because I wanted to about that. Okay, so in the moment right now. Like I'm aware of myself and making decisions and all that stuff. And so on this level, I am doing the things that I'm doing, right? Going through the motions, awareness, whatever. But if there is some larger entity that's responsible for a larger array of things or all of everything, I can't feel it. I can't identify it. I can't talk to it or believe that I have a relationship with it. If it's out there, it's out there, but I have no control of that or you know what I mean?
How do you know that you have no control of that?
I can't feel it. I'll put it that way.
How do you know you have no control?
I can't detect it. I'm telling you.
You can't detect. So anyway, you're responsible for your arguments until you detect otherwise.
No, until something else identifies as, oh, actually that was me, then it's not something else. It's myself.
Yeah.
You like that, JG?
What's that? Subjective idea of how the world works. If all we have are subjective ideas, what are we arguing about? Our opinions?
But you want applause for yours, right?
all have
Yeah, JG's got the best worldview. It's really good and subjective.
I mean, if that's all we have, then we're just arguing our opinions and feelings.
Yes,
right?
that's what you're doing.
so,
Yes, that's all you're doing. Yes.
So your argument ultimately is you have your feelings, I have mine, and that's the correct view.
Yeah, because you can't have my feelings, and I don't want your feelings.
Do you have the correct view about this subjective worldview you claim?
Correct. What do you mean correct? What is
accurate information?
Accurate as it pertains to what?
To your claim about the world.
It's operational, isn't it?
Do tell.
Yeah, it's operational.
What does that mean to you?
It causes me no harm to have this worldview.
What worldview is that?
The one that I hold.
And what is it?
It is the way I see the world and how I interpret
You're
it.
just
It's
going in
called a
circles.
worldview.
You're just saying my worldview.
I'm not being specific intentionally.
Right.
Keep up.
Well, that's kind of the point, right?
Dude.
Because you don't really have a specific worldview.
I'm not going to pretend that someone told me a magic truth.
Well, you do pretend different worldviews at different times. You're not going to pretend that right now, okay?
No, do you want me to?
It's how you know things.
Well, how are you going to find that out?
By asking you.
I don't know. You don't trust anything I say. You can't believe anything I say. So why bother
I'm
asking me?
willing to listen. There are people
Okay.
here.
JG,
Yes.
leave him alone in his delusion that you believe is a delusion. Just leave him alone.
Leave him alone. Do you
Leave
think
him alone.
I mean, that's
Everything
fine.
to you is a
Don't need to ask.
delusion. Everything that everybody says to you is a delusion to you.
Dennis,
No,
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, but I'm entertained by JG's inquisition.
I am too.
I don't think everybody's.
I love how he file cards everybody.
I don't think
He
everybody's.
he doesn't understand that most people live in a pragmatic world. They're just
No, I
living
do.
pragmatic.
I do agree with that. I think most people are pragmatists in,
Yeah,
at least in the United States.
But we're drifting. I'd like to know from JG. JG, do I need something more than operational, like facts in my worldview?
Well, what is
Do
you ask a question about what you need? Like, what is necessity in your worldview? Because that would entail.
Functionality.
Well, that would entail universals. Are you aware of this?
Oh, tell me.
When you make claims about all people and so forth, it's a universal, right? Like a universal
From
claim.
from a subjective interpretation of the things around
Well,
me, sure.
How would a subjective interpretation have information about all people?
I don't need to have information about all
Well,
people.
you're going back.
I was trying to explain how generalities work, but you're not interested in that.
If you're going to make a generality,
I do them all the time, and you jump to the idea that I'm making a universal claim, so I just let you do it.
you mentioned necessity, which entails a universal.
You mean like having to eat? Is that a universal?
You'd say human beings all need to eat.
Yeah, when you run out of things to eat, you expire, and it seems like it's preferable to continue to exist. That's operational, see, because I choose to continue to live, right? That might be a free will choice.
It might be.
Yeah, it might be. Or it might just be my instincts.
He's playing you.
All right,
What do you want to know now?
Well, you can just talk to me when you get a significant worldview that we can kind of.
Oh, well, do I need a magic book to have a significant worldview?
I mean, you just
do I have to have a letter from a deity? I just need to know what are the metrics for a significant worldview.
Well, since you're asking, right? The point
Yeah.
would be that if you're going to critique others, you're going to have something to fall back on that shows that you're
Why?
correct.
Why?
To show that you're correct in your critique, Will.
What if
Only
I
your
what if I
will.
what if I subjectively
will.
prefer consistency? And when I look at other people's books when they claim to be consistent, and since I prefer it, I like to look for it myself, and I find that there's lots of inconsistency that they ignore. Is it wrong to bring it to their attention?
Well, if you're going to bring inconsistency to someone's attention, you're going to need to provide for them why they need to be consistent from your worldview. Why that's
No. I don't
Yeah.
have to do that. I can
Yes,
let
you
them know, and then they can decide whether they need to do anything about it. I don't have to say you need to change it. I could just say, hey, by the way, that's inconsistent. If you don't care, that's fine with me. But I just wanted you to know I made an observation.
Well, you can try to play a neutral position.
I
where,
can be neutral.
Let me finish my point. You can try to play a neutral position where you're saying, "Oh, I'm just showing inconsistency in what you're saying. I'm not giving a preference on it or any sort of ethical thrust saying you should be more consistent. I'm just pointing it out." You can try to play that, but that's easy to break down. You just go
Because I'm not suggesting they be punished for it.
Will you?
Yeah, I'm not suggesting it's anything to be punished for, JG. They don't need to worry about it. They're not going to be in trouble for being inconsistent.
It's just something to keep
not what
in
I was
mind.
saying. That's not what I was saying.
Well, ultimately, there has to be some reason to do things, right? Is there a reason?
I'm wondering what reason, meaning, value, purpose are on your worldview.
All right. So if there's a reason, and my reason is to say, I've made this observation, does this information matter to you? And then step back. Is that neutral or is it not?
It's attempting to be neutral, right? But once you engage in a conversation with the other person, you're on the table. You can be questioned about how you know that is the case.
How I know it's inconsistent?
How you know it's inconsistent, and how you know that being inconsistent is a problem, which is implied. Now you can say it's not implied. You can try that route if you want.
No, it may or may not be a problem. It depends on how their worldview, whether it's important to them to be consistent.
Right. You're trying to critique them neutrally, like
If I may.
you may not, sir.
Wow.
You'll make me flex on you.
I know.
Since we have a larger audience than just the 26 people we're watching, allow me to suggest if anybody wants to become a Christian after the order of JG, Jill, and President,
Doing an altar call, Ace?
Yeah. Then feel free to go over to JG's and Jill's channel and become a Christian, and also put it in the comments after the show.
Feel free as a determined vessel.
How impressed you are with this persuasive Gatling gun of information.
You're saying feel free as a determined vessel? Is that what you're saying?
Do I have to put you in the back for you to shut the fuck up while I'm talking?
Put me in the back and I'm out. Go ahead.
That would be thrilling to me.
Did he need to give you an incentive?
I had conversation I wanted to have with JG. Boohoo. Oh, well.
He's got a channel. Go visit.
Yeah. So if you want to become a Christian, feel free to go over there to JG's channel and become a Christian, just like him. If you're inspired, if you find all that shit interesting and lovely and full of good news, shall we say, gospel. Okay. Now, back to our regularly scheduled knucklehead.
I guess he left.
Oh, Ace, yeah.
No, JG. Like he didn't just go to the back.
Oh, yeah, he did. He said he'd leave if Ace put him in the back, and he's a man of his
I guess now that he's committed, he's got to do it. But I was just going to make a point of like it's not about, in my opinion, like when you say something like inconsistency, he was saying, oh, it's bad, or then you have to make a case for that. It's not that. It's like you say to someone, this is what I see, in any given situation, in whatever thing we're talking about, and you say, what about you? And they tell what they see, and you see,
how see,
does it match? Are there?
Yeah, Halsey,
You know what I mean?
are there not like programs that go through text and find errors and inconsistencies, but they're not like trying to tell you that this is bad. They're
Right.
just programmed to find these patterns. It's not
These
like
two
you
words
have to
mean
change
two
it.
different things, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
the program isn't insisting that you change it. The program has no feelings on the matter. The program's just programmed to say that this is not the pattern that I think you're looking for. This is not the word or the spelling or the, you know,
Right.
there's something that I'm programmed to find. You do with it what you want. You got to send it in, you know?
Exactly. And you figure out, okay, this doesn't seem to this doesn't matter. This one inconsistency over here, but this one absolutely does. Like, you know what I mean? You can make those determinations. But yeah, it doesn't mean it's automatically bad. It just identifies it so you can see what doesn't match.
Right.
And
And
that's
I can
yeah.
have a worldview and criticize someone from just my observations of constants and what socially is good without having to pretend that my information comes from a God who whispers it in my ear.
Right. I mean, what do people who think that they have objective morality, in the Bible as their guide, what do they think of a gut feeling? Like those things are what make people do different things because they feel a certain way about something, but it's not anything that somebody specifically told them about a
Well,
situation or whatever.
I
Like,
when they're talking about objective morality and good and bad, that the problem is that if they're the typical Christian, they can't make a determination of good or bad
They can.
because they can't know it because that whatever God says is good is good. They can't. There's not a decision on their part about it. They might feel that the way God wants something dealt with is not good, but it doesn't matter if they have that feeling. That feeling is fleshly. The truth is whatever they've been told to feel is good, and that's the thing that they have to support.
Well, excuse me. I would
How are you still eating?
yeah, I always eat. I would argue that the word good in the Hebrew really best renders out to functionally correct. So something that is doing an intended function.
Like utilitarian kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like a rattlesnake is good then if it does the thing that it does and bites people and
It's preferable. What is good is preferable. What is evil is
Okay.
not preferable.
Right. So evil would be the best rendering for that word in Hebrew to English would be dysfunctional and calamitous. So something that is not working as intended, and therefore it's causing a problem in the greater
Not
sphere of
profitable.
Yeah.
Calamitous. I think that's the first time I've ever heard that word. Thank you.
Yeah. So that right there can show you what God is looking at and calling things good. He's really saying, okay, it's functioning in a certain way. And again, you do have to you have to give leeway to it's God declaring that it's functioning as it should. But like we can look at a waterfall and see the water falling down and be like, okay, that's functioning correctly. Like if the water is falling up, we'd be like, what's going on here?
I'm still here. I just kind of drifted off in the last couple seconds. That's my bad.
No, it's okay. I'm eating, so.
Oh, later, Mac.
Calamitous. Yes, you were talking about those two different things. Yes. And disorder and all. Functionality, profitability, whether it's a waste of time, waste of effort. I wonder how they justified that with all the resources and livestock they sacrificed and burnt.
Well,
I mean,
I would
I guess
imagine
they thought it was profitable.
Yeah, because I'd imagine it went into feeding people, right?
Yeah, the priest, right? The Levites.
Yeah. So basically, they didn't have to do nothing; they were just getting fed.
They were elite. Yeah, they had their own little communistic society, and they were at the top of the food chain.
So I think it started with every morning you'd have a priest that would stay up overnight, and right as day broke, a priest would come and take his place and go and offer up like the first lamb of the day or whatever, and then they'd all go in there and kind of, okay, time for breakfast type of thing.
Yeah, because that's a job. That's just what you do. I slaughtered an animal, and it's time for lunch.
That was their function. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but didn't they have to no, I guess the judges listen to all the squabbles of the people.
Right, yeah.
Sacrifice is something that's kind of lost, right? Like I thought that they always had to do something other than eat the meat of a sacrificed animal. But they were able to eat it.
They had to give the fat, and I guess the fat and the blood and the carcass to God, because God likes the way it smells.
Okay.
And the fat was for him, which is the best part of the meat.
I know, right? Like they were eating super lean meat then. But they were getting fed, and then it kind of turned into this thing where, around the time of return from Babylonian exile, maybe around the time of the Hasmoneans, they kind of turned it into like a profit scheme where they're like, okay, we got a lot of Jews because we've been reproducing for like 1,000 years now, and they're all coming to the temple to practice the last 3 feast days. We can start charging them for our sacrifices. We'll just have a bunch of animals in pens right outside the temple, and we'll look at theirs and be like, we inspected it, yours ain't good enough. You need to buy one of ours. You know what I mean?
It sounds very gimmicky.
I know, man. That's what they were doing.
The old used car salesman shuck and jive.
Pretty much,
I wonder why they got such a bad reputation as a nation.
Right, but in their eyes, they're like, oh, well, we're the priesthood. God loves us.
We're the priests because Moses said that when he came down off that hill.
I mean, supposedly the tablets were inscribed by the finger of God.
Right, but those guys didn't see that.
They were stiff-necked.
Hophni and Phinehas, or whatever his name was.
Oh, Jill is here too. Hello, Jill.
Hey.
You gonna pull his string and make him start talking? Yeah.
Did you kick JG, Ace?
He flounced.
Flounced.
JG left on his own after I told him to shut up and let me talk.
Wait, on his own free will?
He
surely did.
I told him I was going to put him in the back, and he said, if you put me in the back, I'm out of here. So I said, that sounds like a deal. So we negotiated, and he left, you see.
Well, he gave a prophecy, and it had to come true.
Yeah. See, I was the winner in that one because I am bored to tears with his bullshit.
Oh, say prattle. Say prattle.
Prattle. Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, JG is giving you the old 1-2 combo in his.
Yeah, but in the bottom of his sneaker.
Well,
the tag argument is a pathetic argument. I'm sorry. There has to be a better argument because nobody comes to Christianity because of the tag argument that I have ever heard of.
Right. Well,
can you tell us what the tag argument is, Ms. Freeman?
No one is supposed to come to Christianity by way of the tag argument. If they do,
Jill, cool your heels, Jill. I'm asking Will Freeman. Can you tell us what the tag argument is?
The tag argument is because we are able to recognize logic and reason that God must exist because he is the giver of it, or something like that. Halsey could break down the premise right now, but it's basically it's a circular argument that because I presuppose the Bible is true about what it says about everything. And if you don't know that, then you can't know anything else. That's basically the argument in a nutshell.
Can you name off some taggers?
Jay Dyer, who else? Van Til, Greg Bonson, that guy.
He's
Bonson's. Oh yeah, he's like the godfather of tag now. I mean, like Van Til or whatever might have like lit the match, but
since you know them more than I do any of them ever speak favorably of the cross of Christ and what it accomplishments?
I don't have enough knowledge about them to say if they've ever.
I have never in my life heard JG extol.
Greg Bonson was a good Christian. Okay, he might have believed in the tag argument to support, but he seems like a pretty good Christian as far as what it takes to be a Christian on the very minimal level, which is a love for Jesus.
I did a couple of reviews of Bonson when he was talking about hell, and his is no different than Jill. He glorifies hell, and he did not glorify anything Christ accomplished on the cross.
Yeah, but we're talking about Christians.
I glorify both.
They love Jesus.
Wait. What about Deconstruction Zone? Do you like him, Will?
Oh, I love Justin. Yeah,
we love you some Justin. Did you see when I was on his channel?
I did.
Ooh, missed that.
Do you really want to talk about that right now?
I mean, he crashed out. I got him to crash out a little bit. It was kind of interesting.
That's copious.
Is that 45-minute call?
It was. I think it was longer than that. No, I was like an hour and a half on there with him.
Did you see him actually try to debate?
I remember that.
It was laughable.
Yeah, I don't think Justin can really debate.
No.
He's more of like a controlled argument kind of person, which is fine. Yeah. But what it came down to was I had told him that names in the Bible are just, as far as the Bible is concerned, are just allegory for the role that person kind of plays in the Bible.
I swear to Odin, if you pull out that PowerPoint, I'm out of here.
No, and he crashed out. He didn't like it.
By the way, do you still have the same PowerPoint, or have you updated it? Like streamlined it in any way?
Well, how we understand the tag argument is that
we
from the Reform.
You got a turd in your pocket? Who's we?
Reform believers, according to Calvin.
Oh, Calvinist. Go ahead.
Yeah. Calvin would say, and I agree with this, that unbelievers do use logic and morality and science, but they do so consistently. And that's brought out in cross-examination. You're inconsistent with your worldview, and that's why you lose every debate you ever have.
Who are you talking about?
When you're cross-examined. Under cross-examination, you don't stand a chance. Anyone, unbelievers.
If I may, Jill. Jill, what gave you the idea?
Justin.
Jill, what gave you the idea that we should be debating if we are preaching the good news that Christ rose from the dead?
The Apostle Paul debated. Is that enough for you?
I think you're stretching.
I'm stretching. He didn't debate. Paul didn't debate. And every day he was in the synagogue.
Reasoning and debating are two different things. Reasoning is more tactful.
Reasoning and debating are two different things?
You use reasoning in debate, but they're not the same things.
Right. So you're thinking of a formal debate where a debate in its bare essence is just two people reasoning together, discussing a topic. That's all.
No, like when you think about Paul and he's talking about the statue of the unknown God or whatever, he's trying to reason with them and saying, hey, I got an idea about who this God is that you think it is. And, there'll be some back and forth, but he's reasoning with them. Hey, you don't have a name for it, but I think I have a name. Okay. And it's the best name, right? So he's reasoning. He's not running in and pushing it over and saying you shouldn't have idols and Yahweh this and that. And he's not doing that. He's reasoning.
Yeah. So part of debating is arguing, which Paul does, reasoning, and confronting. That's basically the three prongs of debate. And I actually worked taught or worked in the summer as a debate coach. So he,
How do
so
you
I
define
would actually
argument,
know
Jill?
this. So Paul explicitly reasons and argues.
Jill,
Right? In
can you
Acts
hear me? Can
17, you
anyone
brought
hear
up
me?
Acts 17.
I can hear
okay?
you.
He
Yes,
debates
you are.
philosophers in Acts 17.
He
Jill, what
does.
is, I'm just curious, what
Okay?
is your definition of an argument in the realm of debate?
Well, it's an argument is just a formal way of stating your case, your position. That's all.
So it's like a kind of a proposition. I propose
It
that
could
this
be
is true,
it could be a
right?
refutation also. It doesn't just have to be a proposition.
Right, but you're stating something about something, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
In
just checking.
Galatians, he gives us a direct refutation of a false gospel. That's an argument. He's not debating someone like a classical type of debate where you have a moderator or a traditional
Well,
modern sense.
no, but I think Paul uses very classical argumentation, like
Oh yeah.
modus ponens, modus tollens, premise 1, premise 2, conclusion.
Right.
always
But
does that.
when they say debate, they're thinking, okay, there's he's going up, he's face to face against someone, or
Not necessarily.
Okay.
A
Yeah,
debate
it's
to
more
me is
just
just
the way
yeah.
of his argumentation, right, Halsey? Like the way he presents his argument for Christ.
I mean, a debate, is typically between two or possibly more parties, right? So one party is proposing a thing, and the other person is telling them why they disagree, right? And giving their reasons, and that's how I see a debate. And as it goes on, and how things are exposed and sort of verified, or one seems to follow something else, or it's pointed out that doesn't follow something. I mean, at the end, there's clearly one that seems more reasonable and more possibly correct, right? That's how I see a debate.
Okay. Excuse me, but Jill, can I have your attention?
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to talk about the scope of the resurrection of the died ones. It's on the screen here. Can you see it here on the screen?
Okay. I see a bunch of sayings. Where are these sayings from?
This is 1 Corinthians 15. All right, so I'll read it to you and then ask you a question, okay? Line by line. Okay. Thus also is the resurrection of the died ones. Okay, this is the subject that is to be outlined as we go along. So what will we know at the end of this paragraph? So the resurrection of the died ones is all about, it is sown in corruption. Now my question, Jill, is how deep is the corruption that we can assume reflects the resurrection of the died ones?
How deep is the corruption?
Yeah, how deep is the corruption? Because it is sown in corruption. Could we assume that it could be the worst of corruption all the way around?
This is 1 Corinthians 15.
Yes, it is. This is 1 Corinthians 15. Have you ever heard of 1 Corinthians 15? It's a
You talk about it all the time on this channel. I can't help but hear about it.
Okay, so we're talking about the resurrection of the died ones, plural, because the word died in 1 Corinthians 15, every time it's used, it's always plural. You ever heard of plural?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got the resurrection of the died ones. We're going to outline its power and how we might see the matter, okay? Now, it is sown in corruption. Is that corruption really, really bad, or is it just a little touch of corruption?
Well, you're speaking in relative terms. What do you really, really bad? Like, what do you?
It says concerning the resurrection of the died ones, it is sown in corruption. May we assume that this is just absolute corruption and just there's no hope?
No, there's always
should
hope
we
in God.
assume that there's just a little bit of corruption we're dealing with?
Well, outside of God, there's no hope. Out of God, this refers to burial. So the
Really?
corruption, that means you're subject to decay. You're mortal. You're vulnerable to death.
Okay, so
He's not saying that the body is morally corrupt here. He's just saying that this is just about physical decay.
okay, so it is roused in incorruption. May we assume that the one who is roused, the died ones, plural, will be absolutely incorruptible?
Not subject to dying, yes.
That's it, not subject to dying. So, not subject to dying, that would be kind of an interesting little thought there, huh? Okay, then the next it says, it is sown in dishonor. May we assume that this dishonor is like really bad? I mean, dishonor is like goes beyond the body. It would be the reputation and the intentions, and I don't know.
Paul was not a Gnostic. Matter is not bad. The body is not evil.
Okay, right. So we're talking about dishonor of what?
Or
it is sown in dishonor. The resurrection of the died ones, it has to do with it being sown in dishonor.
it's perishable.
Are you tracking with me, Jill?
Right. This refers to
It refers to humanity because the died ones includes all
mortality.
humanity. It is sown in dishonor. Are you tracking?
Well,
there?
this isn't referring to all of humanity. This is referring to the Church of Corinth, first and foremost.
Really? So when it says just 10 verses earlier that even as in Adam all die, so only the church in Corinth can be the ones who are dying in Adam. Is that what you're saying? Are you
No.
that inconsistent and bullshitty?
No, I'm saying that he is addressing a
So
group
what?
of believers.
So he did say to the Corinthians that even as in Adam all die, so only those in Corinth
No.
die in Adam, right, Jill?
No, listen to what
So
I
we're
said.
talking about all who die, and here now in verse 42, we're talking about
Here
the
comes the
resurrection
Spurgeon
of those who
session.
die.
Here's where he starts spurging out. Listen to what I said, Ace.
I want to listen to what Paul says. He says
Okay.
it is sown in
I'm telling you what
dishonor.
Paul is saying. I'm telling you who Paul is addressing.
I don't care
Paul
what
is
he's
addressing.
addressing. Tell me what
Oh,
he's
you don't?
saying.
Oh, okay. You heard it here, folks. He doesn't care who Paul.
Kiss my ass. Welcome, boys and girls, to a tag-free argument.
Jill adds so much texture, though.
No, he does not. He adds so much self-righteousness. And now for something entirely different.
Gentle flow with a very low slope.
And that's a very shallow depth. And the feet won't get muddy for the foot walk.
Right. But this area is the steep slope. So we came back after the first storm and we put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rocks.
So this channel is Brad Lancaster's channel. And Brad Lancaster is all about capturing water from street runoff and whatever else, so that you can have a green desert. I really enjoy Brad Lancaster.
Here to control this steep downslope. These are the only rocks in the whole project. There's another basin.
So that's basically a rock mulch rundown, if you will.
It's a mulched rock rundown. And so this all used to be bare dirt at the beginning of last summer. It's had a lot of flows. It's completely greened up. My client planted a whole bunch of things, and you can see he's managing the flows with a
Basins
shovel.
there. Water channel overflow. Okay, go for it.
He's managing the flows with the shovel and trimming this grass, and he's got water going all the way across his property, and the rest of this area is greening up.
Nice. So that Siberian elm gets advantage of that water, overflow water that spreads out as calmer, shallower sheet flow. And if it needs to overflow, it can go into the creek as opposed to the street. Yep. Once it's been cleaned and made sweet. Are you into all this sweet stuff? Man, I am. If you are, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll make more. We're here in Silver City, New Mexico with Van Clothier, and he's showing us at the top of one of the sub-watersheds how they're redirecting water from dirt streets and paved streets into beneficial use. Take it away, Van.
This is 11th Street, which is dirt, taking a lot of stormwater from the university parking lot and solar array. And it used to go down onto the paved part of 11th Street and 3 blocks down and into our local creek, San Vicente Creek, with a huge amount of sediment, parking the sediment on the street and putting warm, intense stormwater with a lot of things that you don't really want to put into a live stream. So we built a rolling road drain here and reconfigured.
So Van, can you show us where the hump of that rolling dip is and where the drain?
So you're driving down the road, but there's a grade reversal here. Your vehicle goes up, but the water goes off to the side and into this grade control. This is made out of cinder blocks and it's being colonized by Bermuda grass. Here's a little bit of sediment from the last storm, but since we have made adjustments to this ditch with little grade controls and we've gotten the Bermuda grass to grow in the ditch, the sediment supply has been reduced. Nevertheless, this is a large sediment clean out basin, and when this is full,
can I just get a little more info on that, Van?
Yeah.
So you're not purposely planting this because this is where you'll scoop sediment out if needed. So is that correct?
Yes, this is a sediment clean out basin. This is where during a very large storm, we will retain all of the sediment so that it doesn't clog all the other flow paths we've created. The water that leaves this basin is just water, and you can see the sediment, the sand and gravel drops out right here.
Yeah.
And the top of that little hump is about at the same elevation as the water flow exit from this basin. And then it goes across Connie's driveway. And here is an 8-inch diameter recycled PVC pipe.
Yep.
That takes, there's a flow splitter here. She can block this off with a brick and send it down the street to 2 other properties that have water harvesting features.
And just clarify, Van, so it's my understanding that once it leaves here, it hits the pavement, so it's no longer picking up sediment at that point.
That's right. Since we've managed the sediment, and this is becoming grassed in with Bermuda grass, this
could use native grass, but the Bermuda is here.
Bermuda works fabulously. You can drive and walk on it.
Yeah.
And it traps the sediment so that it doesn't go down the street and need to be dug out.
Yeah.
So supposing it's raining, she's home, she wants the water, it'll go through this pipe, under this berm, into another basin. And what I like about putting water in a basin is that you can use the basin as a flow splitter.
Yep.
If you imagine...
And a water source for adjoining vegetation.
Yeah. If you imagine a coffee cup with 2 chips in it,
yep.
If the waitress keeps pouring in coffee, it'll escape the cup at the same time through both chips. Or one chip could be deeper or wider. You can, if you have a basin, you could manage flows after that. At present, it just has one grade control outlet that goes through her coyote fence. And if you want to come around here, you can see that it goes in a ditch along that fence and all the way to her garden.
Awesome. And will you where might the other chip go in the cup?
Well, there's a garden space on the other side of this fence.
For the neighbor's property, yep.
We could put another one here and manage it with boards or bricks so that after she gets her irrigation, she can turn it off and this garden can get an irrigation. So we call this the 11th Street acequia.
Nice, stormwater acequias.
Yeah.
All right. So we've started pretty close to the top of the watershed. We're not going to go up to the parking lot solo, but pretty much the top of the watershed of flow. So if is continuing down the street gutter here, let's see the next installation down at that corner. So we were just up there. Water's come down here, and Van's at the next part of the installation.
Okay, so the tailwater from Connie's diversion, or if she blocks off her pipe, she'll send clean water down an asphalt street, which will pick up minimal sediment. But this is a very steep street, and the water flows so quickly, it's hard to get it to turn that corner and go into the diversion. This was an ad hoc curb cut built by my friend Abel, and it always clogged with sediment until we built that project up above to manage the sediment. But still, water could come down here so quickly that not that much of it would turn in. So this is a unique curb cut, is that we lowered the gutter. We lowered the concrete gutter about 2 inches to lower the water surface elevation and get it to turn this corner and go into this clean out basin. And then we're going under the sidewalk in a deep, narrow ditch that has a steel plate above it.
And you cut through the sidewalk, you made that notch, and you put the plate on there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then it goes into a series of, I believe, 11 shallow basins with swales connecting them all the way to the end of this large property.
I'll follow you on the sidewalk. Just walk along, pointing them out.
Okay. There's a basin. Here's a channel. Here's a shallow basin. Here's another shallow basin. Apple tree, shallow basin.
All these fruit trees were already here, right?
Yes, but now it's all of a piece because they get free irrigation. Way more irrigation than you could give it with the hose.
Yeah, for free irrigation.
Sunflowers, basin, channel, basin, sunflower, jujube, growing.
And all this was just flowing down
for
the street
free
before, not being used, right?
Right. It all used to go down this street, turn right on 12th Street, and go out of town in a big ditch. Apple trees, basin, basin, basin.
Man, what's the average annual rainfall here in Silver City, New Mexico?
It was historically 16.25 inches.
Yeah. And what's your elevation?
Around 6,000.
So it's great to see, like you can do what we can't do in Tucson because you're a cooler climate. You don't have as much water loss to evaporation. So you're able to grow fruit trees. You can irrigate them once established solely with stormwater if adequate amounts are harvested. We can't get away with that because of the dry pulses between the storms. So it's cool to see what you can do, what we can't do in the low desert.
We're taking advantage of every attribute we can to optimize the exact situation we have, and every property is different.
Let's see more.
Okay.
We started up by the green truck there. There's the rolling dip off. Then we went to the corner, went around the corner. There's more work across the street. Now we're down here. So Van, what's going on here? How are you capturing the water?
So this client wanted to be part of our water harvesting program we have going on. So we did a curb cut here and a channel. And while we're here at the channel, I would mention that this sediment comes off the street. Look at this. This is a plunge pool, and this is the glide. And this is the sediment that came off the street. And what she needs to do is dig this out with a shovel. And you can see she's been piling it here after each storm to keep the inlet free. And this is about, you need to do about that much work after a rainstorm to keep this flowing so that you can get thousands of gallons of water.
Dan, just before you go down there, can you just show me the groove you put in there and the little stop in the gutter? Because this is a pretty steep street, just to ensure you've got water coming in.
This is not a steep street for Silver City. It's about average.
For Tucson.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what you need to do is you need to grind the concrete down, and then on the outside of the curve, make this be vertical. You want this to be vertical on the outside so that water doesn't spill over so easy. If you have a vertical edge here, it tends to make the water go faster right in the corner pocket. And then a lot of my clients will put a brick. That's what my client did. She put a brick here and backed it with some dirt so it won't wash away, so that she gets more water off the street. Now, this benefits the street department because water going down the street damages the asphalt. It creates flooding, erosion, and traffic safety problems.
And you're sending it instead where?
Well, we dug this ditch with a small backhoe,
you're watering these cottonwoods for free, aren't you?
Yes. This is a Siberian
Oh, sorry.
elm, and this is a box elder,
Thanks for
Acer
clarifying.
Negundo.
Awesome.
And so she's planted various things, wildflowers. This is a basin. And so all the earth that we took out of here made a berm across there so that the overflow from the system goes actually into the front yard of the house. This is the property line. We are on city-owned street right-of-way that the city has allowed us to transform into a water harvesting feature because it benefits the town. So these are street trees on town of Silver City property that are being irrigated for free by a project that takes nuisance stormwater off the street. And if it rains enough, it will even go into my client's backyard. And our project stopped here. And over time, you can see that she's been digging this out and leading the water. This is a recently led ditch. Here's a newly planted, I think that's an apricot tree. And so I love to work with people who are going to put the water to use and capture more of it, keep the inlet clear as she's been doing, and lead it farther and farther down. This water can percolate through this and get to those trees as well.
On the
And
street.
in fact, we did another project around the corner.
So just before we head off here, something I really like about what you're doing here is she can grow this organically as she has the energy and time, but there's no rush to get it done because the default overflow of this water, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, is just away from the house because the slope is away from the house to the street on the other side of that hedge. So all is controlled, maintained. There's no risk here.
There's no risk. The failure mode, if she stops cleaning out the inlet, is that sediment will block the inlet and water will go where it used to go before we did the project.
Down the street gutter.
Yeah. So we always construct safe failure modes. If the maintenance isn't done, if something goes wrong, guess what? It's going to be how it was before. So this project doesn't create any liability. In fact, it reduces overall danger to pedestrians, bicyclists, vehicles, and downstream homeowners from being flooded by too much water. We're allowing areas that are safe to flood, like a corner lot. The more water goes here, the less water will go to places where people built their house in a low-lying area that's vulnerable to flooding and sedimentation.
And you're infiltrating water all throughout here and thereby reducing the volume of overflow water.
Yep.
And it seems to me also a goal here is to get people to dramatically reduce or eliminate the need to irrigate with potable municipal water, but instead flip over to a system where they're just irrigating for free with captured stormwater that was previously wasted, forgotten water.
Yes, and we believe a substantial amount of that water infiltrates very deeply into the soil and percolates down to the creek, sustaining cold, clear base flow in our perennial stream, San Vicente Creek in Silver City.
So that water that infiltrates travels subsurface to feed the creek. It feeds the creek in the dry times. The creek can flow much longer into the dry times because it's not just a sudden rapid pulse of stormwater during the storm where it's just in the creek and it's out the creek.
I wear sandals and I go out the back door of my office during a monsoon, and I was splashing around in the street gutter when it was flowing, and I realized the water was warm because typically in monsoon season, it dawns clear, it gets hot, and historically around 2 p.m., you hope to get a thunder shower. And so rain hits hot asphalt, and it was delivering an intense burst of warm water that may have had dog poo in it, and putting that straight into a live stream with fish, not so good. It's much better to get that water to soak into the ground where the topsoil can bioremediate all of these things and actually turn them into fertilizer so that only clean, cool water will migrate to the stream, subsurface through the aquifer, perhaps many weeks to months later. So we're really doing everything we can to slow it down, clean it, and get it to soak into the ground.
Awesome. So I'm just going to step back. People can see if her front yard overflows, water can go through the hedge and it could go to the street. But hey, you've done more water harvesting, so you're going to catch it before it hits the street.
Yes. So whatever doesn't go into all the projects up the street, and plus by the yellow flowers behind that car is a water harvesting curb cut. And this begins a new urban sub-watershed defined by the perimeter of the Crown Street. And this area here is already 1,500 square feet of additional area. So during any rainstorm, this curb cut will get flow.
Show me where that water goes.
This water goes into this channel and this broad basin. The dirt that was removed from this was used in a neighborhood, in a Smiley berm for her neighbor's backyard project. So we're managing dirt locally so we don't have to haul it off, and it makes the project more efficient. So this basin will fill up.
Water the street.
We're still in the basin. Here's something that she planted. This project was done 2 months ago. We seeded it with oats just to have a cover crop, and we mulched it. I could talk about the mulch later. She planted this wildflower. So in the basin, here's a water channel going past this mulberry tree, and here's a second basin. Since the driveway is coming up and there's the mailbox, there might have been utilities. Here's the front steps, and so I didn't want there to be a basin here so that somebody can park, maybe get the mail, walk across here without going through a dip and go up the front steps. So we decided to terminate the flow path here, and so we cut an outlet cut to return the overflow back to the street gutter. And so once it goes in the street gutter, it can go past the mailbox, it can go past their driveway, and then we're going to grab it again. So we used the street gutter to convey water for us where it was convenient. This is Doug and Jennifer's across the street from the dog park in Silver City. We did a 6-inch diameter borehole with our drill press. And as you can see, we started cutting right here at nothing. And by the time we hit the curb, we were half pipe. And so that's a little bit more than half pipe. So this is a very steep borehole entrance. And I really like this because the 6-inch diameter bore is the same scale as the 6-inch high curb. And when you look at it, it looks right. It doesn't look like some rinky-dink, homeowner design thing. This looks quite municipal. And it takes water. In fact, we built it, what was that, last Thursday? Last Thursday night. It rained and this whole system filled up. So this takes water off the street into a clean out basin. Oats has sprouted. We mulched it. Most of the mulch doesn't even float away because the way the system is designed, the outlet is only this much lower than the inlet.
Just an inch lower.
And so the speed of exit is very slow. As you can see, the mulch kind of bunched up here, and then it floated, and then it plastered flat against the ground. So this is ideal earthworm habitat under here. And
so you've essentially created a pool here.
Yeah.
Water will pool here before outletting.
And it's still muddy under the mulch.
Nice.
Even though the top of the mulch is dry. So it's during a runoff event, this fills up, stays full during the entire runoff event. When water stops flowing in the street gutter, all the water in here soaks deeply into the ground quickly, quite quickly. When this overflows, it goes into a shallow water channel that goes between these two prickly pear cactus. And you can see how grass growing in the channel retains the mulch. The mulch doesn't get washed away like you might think if you manage your slopes and water flow speeds. So it comes down here.
That grass also acts as a living mulch.
Yep. Turns the corner, stays on the median, and then there's another basin here which filled up with water. This one turned out pretty good. During a high flow event, there was some bypass flow that got past the inlet and stayed in the gutter. And this filled up, lapping, but just a teeny little bit of overflow went back into the street gutter where all this water originally came from. So it overflows into the same gutter it came from, but way less frequently and cleaner. And in the meantime, it takes sediment off the street and gets a huge amount of water to soak into the ground and, you know, recreate the sponge. Silver City's original name was San Vicente de la Ciénaga. So it was a desert marsh that was turned into a town with too much impervious asphalt. By redirecting the runoff from this asphalt into the original wetland soils, you have fantastic results. It's amazing.
All right, here we are with Doug, who just got his street runoff harvesting installation done a week ago. Doug, what do you think?
It's fantastic. I couldn't be more excited. Yeah, they just cut this curb, the hole there, about a week ago, and rained that very night. And Van was so excited about it. He came here, and just to see it fill up, which it did perfectly, he was literally dancing in the street over there. I'm not kidding.
Awesome. And you're planning to do some plantings to then take advantage of that water in addition to your prickly pear?
Absolutely. They planted like a tree and some grasses and a few things. But yeah, I was talking to you. I want to get some stuff in the low areas. And yeah, I want to fill this up with, you know, pollinator plants and all that. And yeah, I can't wait. It's going to grow quick, I'm sure, because I'll bet that first rain must have got thousands of gallons of water in there, it looked like.
For free.
For free. No charge. It's so good.
This is 14th Street in Silver City, New Mexico. The director of streets had a problem with sediment coming down the dirt part of 14th Street, and all those eroding driveways would splay sediment down the street for like 4 blocks. And they would have to run the street sweeper after a big storm to clean the streets. So we did a workshop with them, and we went over the construction of a rolling dip road drain. I'm walking up the berm of a rolling dip road drain. You can easily drive over it with your car. And even though we're going uphill, there's a grade reversal and it goes downhill. Here's a water channel, and it takes water and sediment into that basin, and that basin overflows on city-owned median and back to the street. So it has a designed overflow, but it's a sediment trap. So only clean water will re-enter the street system. We're keeping sediment off the street, but in 95% of the storms, we're also keeping all of the water off of the street.
And I'm going to look upstream at the dirt road, and you can see the gullying dirt roadside ditch. And then I'm coming back to you. Can you walk the water flow? So walk down this dirt road and show me how the rolling dip works.
Here comes the stormwater in a roadside ditch. And then at this point, you can see the water turns because there's a raised berm there, and the water goes down that way, and you can still see it's muddy in the basin.
Can you walk that? You don't have to get your feet muddy.
Here are flow tracks. Oh, and check this out. This is a pro-grading lake delta of sediment that came out of the roadside ditch. And this is the street. And so now, instead of having to sweep the streets immediately after a storm or deal with a bunch of complaints, the city can let sediment build up in this cleanout basin all season and come by and take one big scoop with their bucket loader and put it in the dump truck. So it saves time, it improves public safety, and all this water is soaking into the ground and being filtered, and it's growing native grasses, and it's helping to keep those trees green, which also helps them be more fire safe.
Nice. So it looks like you had more concentrated channelized flow coming in, and then it spread out as more gradually flowing, shallower sheet flow through that vegetation on the downslope side. Is that correct?
Yes, because this is a basin, and if the basin were to fill, and it's filled about 3 times since it was built, then you can see the sediment is getting parked there where it enters the pool. And so we have relatively clean water. It has wash load, which is the fine sediment that makes muddy water muddy, but it doesn't have any sand or gravel or silt in it. And that water is going as sheet flow through the native vegetation, getting further cleaned and soaking into the ground.
Living filter, living infrastructure, water for free.
Yep.
Thanks to your work. turning an eroding liability into a water harvesting asset. Love it. So I understand, Van, that you did this work as part of a workshop with the city. Is that correct?
Yes, we wrote a grant to the New Mexico Environment Department called Curb Cuts and County Roads. And we're doing several workshops with the Town of Silver City Streets Department. And we hope to be working with the Grant County Road Department, bringing this technology of rolling dip road drains and other features that simultaneously make the streets safer and lower maintenance for the city and the county while putting this water to an ecological benefit.
And how many curb cuts will you be putting in at the end of this project? I understand. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? Like, do the adjoining neighbors have to pay anything to participate? Where's the funding coming from?
Okay. Private property owners can receive a water project on the street in front of their house for free. The state of New Mexico decided that if they're going to do this, the property owner has to sign a 10-year maintenance agreement and a landowner agreement with the state of New Mexico. And we are budgeted to build 60 to 100 of these features. We're a little more than halfway done right now. I think one person opted out because they didn't want to sign the landowner agreement, but I think that's, it's only one page and it's not very intimidating and it doesn't really ask too much. I think it's fair. Everybody else has gladly signed and has received a project that's 100% free. We do all the engineering, all the work. We get here during the first storms and we watch it flowing. Even if it's in the middle of the night, I'm going to be out here watching it flow. If it doesn't do what we think it should, we will come back and regrind or move a rock or shovel some dirt until it's working correctly. And once we have accomplished that, we give the landowner a written maintenance plan and meet with them and show them exactly what they need to do.
And how do people find out about this project? How do you get people to sign up?
It's a small town. We've been on the local radio. There have been front page articles about our work in the Silver City Daily Press. We do word of mouth. People see us working, and a lot of times people will come by and they'll say, wow, you guys are working so hard. What are you doing? And then Jacqueline will talk to them, and pretty soon we have a new customer.
I would imagine too, when they see the water flowing and being beneficially reused by their neighbor, that probably sparks them and gets them excited.
It's amazing how many times we will get a rainstorm the very next day or the same day we do a project, and we will come right back. And it's about the best thing in the world to get to see water flowing in a project that you just built. It feels like magic.
And what does the city think of this?
They love our work. The public works director, the city manager, the streets department, and the parks department are working with us, and we're using the state funding to help them work through the chronic flooding and sedimentation problem that Silver City's always had. We have an advantage because we're a private company with state funding. We can work with property owners and direct water onto their property. This is something that it's not a traditional way for city street departments to solve their problem. Typically, street departments have to run onto the street, and they have to manage it within the public right-of-way, generally building a giant ugly concrete thing at the bottom to try to stop the force. A better solution is to work with the community and talk to people and say, I noticed that there's water flowing in your street gutter. Wouldn't you like me to direct that into your orchard for free?
And Van, what sources you? What sparks you? Why do you do this work? I mean, this is hopefully, well, it is very much a growing profession. See more and more people doing this, but you're definitely a pioneer here in your community of Silver City, New Mexico. So, what sparks you? What sources you to do this work? You could be doing anything. I mean, you're a very smart guy. You've got it's all kinds of wild stuff you've done in the past. Why do you choose to do this now in your life?
It makes me happy.
What makes you happy about this work?
It's very creative work. every site is different. You really have to use your brain to figure out how to manage the water and sediment and all the various uses of a town site. A lot of things are going on. People need to park, drive, walk, grow things, manage water flow, and we have to figure out a creative way to accommodate every single previous use plus one, and do it in such a way that the water harvesting feature doesn't hurt any of the other uses of the site, and in fact helps them. So there's that. Also, it's very satisfying to work hard and sweat and build something creative with our own hands and tools. And the best part is when you come back and you see water flowing in something that you built. It's amazing. You know, there's the continuity equation of cross-sectional area times velocity. But when you see water speeding up to go through an inlet and then spreading out into the pool, it seems magical. And of course, that water is the source of life in a high desert environment, and we get to watch all these things grow.
Well, sir. Thanks, boys and girls, for stopping by for this night of turd flinging monkeys. Before I go out, let me bring up what the call outs that I previously brought up. Doubting Thomas said JG is interested in interrogation, not conversation. Halcyon said jerks for Jesus. I said jackasses for Christ unite. And then 1 hour so far, and these guys know everything except the cross of Christ. Doubting Thomas said, we need to be in touch with someone who has access with all knowledge. Will. Deborah said, JD doesn't give a good explanation of worldview. And then, so glad JG took a hike, but not without snark. Collision said, some have to win because their Jesus didn't win. And then Collision said, and they know it. He didn't win and they know it, and act out as a competition. But it's finished. Thank you, boys and girls, for supporting the channel in whatever way you can. Like thumbs up, that helps. Exit stage right, and grace to you.